just wanted to share with you some fun memories, rich memories of Holy Week. I didn't grow up in a very Catholic family, and so I really have no childhood memories of Holy Week at all. Plus, most of my childhood was in the previous rite, so I don't know what they did. I didn't really do Holy Week till I went to seminary. My best memories of Holy Week were on my sabbatical in Mexico because, first of all, Mexico's a Catholic country, so everything there is Catholic. Growing up in this part of the world, I always felt a little bit like an endangered species, but down there we're very definitely the norm. I was asked to go to a small community and celebrate the Holy Week with them. In that community, the custom was that young adults organized Holy Week, and so they took care of all the decorations and processions and all that sort of thing. But the whole town came out. It was marvelous. The Good Friday was probably the best. It's the only time I've ever wept on Good Friday because the whole town was there. We walked out of the little town to a hill where Jesus was crucified. You had the ugly people jeering and the faithful people weeping, and it was really like being there. Very, very powerful. Then that evening, they have a custom there where they take Jesus out in this coffin and march through the town with him in a silent procession. Now, I am kind of picky about silence. If we're going to be silent, let's be silent. Now, we Americans don't do that well, but there it was eerie because everybody had large candles and they were silent, just walking through town, up and down the streets, and then up and down the other way. And it was a very, very moving experience. Easter Sunday, well, the vigil, of course, but then Easter Sunday was particularly joyful.
Hi, St. Thomas Aquinas. This is Rebecca Juneau. I'm a member of the Pastoral Council at St. Thomas Aquinas. I hope you're having a blessed and safe Holy Week. One of my favorite Easter memories is from a couple of years back. My mom's birthday actually happened to fall on Easter Sunday that year. And so I had my parents come down to Atlanta from Tennessee in order to celebrate my mom's birthday that entire weekend. One of my other Easter traditions, however, though, was to have what's called Easter extravaganza. It's this thing that me and my friends have been doing for a couple of years now, where we just gather together and have a potluck and just spend time with each other and hang out and play games and eat food and just be joyful, because that is exactly what Easter is all about. Well, I was very surprised when we walked in the door for Easter extravaganza because my friends had decorated their entire house with decorations and cake and candles and singing, all to celebrate my mom's birthday, a woman that they didn't even know. And that's what I really love about St. Thomas Aquinas, about the community here, is that we do feel like a family. And whether we're related biologically or not, I have a community here at St. Thomas Aquinas that I love dearly, and that's who we are as a community at St. Thomas. We are a community filled with helpful volunteers and with people who love and celebrate each other, and that's something that's very special to have. So that's one of my favorite Easter memories here at St. Thomas Aquinas, and I'm sure you have many too. Stay safe this Easter season. Bye.
When we were invited to share our most memorable Holy Thursday, I immediately thought of the year that Father John Adamski was our parish administrator, and the parish family was invited to come forward to have their feet washed. Many people did come forward, and then we in turn washed the next person's feet. And all I can say, what a profound moment it was for me to hear Jesus' words, "What I have done, so shall you do." And it has stayed with me every year.
Bueno, uno de mis recuerdos que traigo ahora a mi mente es haber vivido, la primera vez que viví aquí en Estados Unidos, el Vía Crucis viviente. Realmente me impactó porque esas personas que en ese momento estaban haciendo un personaje, una actuación, estaban representando lo que realmente había sucedido y realmente me encantó tener esa experiencia.
Oh, hello there. I know I'm supposed to share with you a special memory of Easter and Holy Week, so really the only thing that came immediately to mind when you asked that is a time we were going to Easter, and my mother had one of the infamous Pintos that if it was rear-ended, the body would stop the doors from opening and supposedly the gas tank would blow up. This was all hitting the news at this time. We were going to Mass, not Mass really, it was Episcopal church I guess, but we were going to Mass and we were rear-ended on the way to Easter, and sure enough on one side the body jammed against the door and we weren't able to get out. The gas tank however did not ignite, so that was good, and we could get out the other side. So we were pretty close to the church and we were all alive and we were all thankful. In fact, we were so thankful that we didn't go to Mass. We went to brunch at the Holiday Inn in Hammond, Louisiana instead to celebrate Easter, and that's kind of how all my Easters went back there. If there was something else to do besides church, that's what we would do. So that's my memory of Easter.
Uno de los mejores recuerdos que tengo de la Semana Santa es cuando íbamos a pasar los días santos al pueblo de mi madre en el estado de Hidalgo. Siempre la acompañaba a ella a todas las celebraciones del Jueves Santo, el viernes, el sábado de Gloria y el domingo. Es un grato recuerdo que comparto con ella y ojalá y pueda yo generar lo mismo con mis hijos.
For us, Holy Week was always about the food and about going to church. So it was about getting fed spiritually and physically. My mom was such a great cook, and she would make ethnic delicacies, Easter bread, Italian Easter bread, and rice pie. And if she used a recipe, she didn't write down very well the steps. So when I moved to Atlanta, I tried to make rice pie, but I didn't know that you had to cook the rice first. And I was wondering why this was kind of crunchier than normal. Needless to say, I didn't have rice pie that year. But we had Easter anyway, as we will this year. Happy Easter, everyone. We miss you all.
Para mí, un recuerdo lindo de la vigilia pascual es el momento de los bautizos. Ver las caras, los rostros de alegría, tanto de los que se bautizan como de los miembros de la comunidad que participan esa noche.
One of my favorite Easter memories goes back maybe, 5 or 6 years, when we were between pastors and we had an administrator here, Father John Adamski. And he had some wonderful ideas for things to implement for our 3 holiest days of the Triduum. One was that he wanted to make the washing of the feet available to everyone. Another was that he wanted baptism by full immersion. Wonderful ideas, especially for somebody like me who's an RCIA director and who just loves that stuff. But the challenge involved with like maybe 10 days notice was we needed 300 towels for the washing of the feet. We needed to have brown robes for the people that were going to be baptized to wear while they were being immersed before they would change into the white robes. So we had to assemble all of these worker bees in no time, and as typical St. Thomas, it happened. We had Diana Malta and Shirley Weiner, and I can't remember who else, sewing brown robes. Bob was out shopping all over the world trying to find the brown fabric for it. I was looking for 300 towels and finally ended up getting them through my hairdresser. It was just insane. But that flurry of participation and anticipation were just amazing. And when those 3 days came and all of those things unfolded, it truly was an Easter to remember. People came forward, some reluctantly, some enthusiastically to have their feet washed. And the system that we had in place was that after you had your feet washed, you'd step back and you'd wash the next person's feet. But some people kind of forgot those instructions, so who jumped in to wash feet but the elect, those that were going to be baptized in just 2 days, immediately jumped into service. It was such a beautiful thing to behold. And then 2 days later, those same elect donned their brown robes, lovingly made by our seamstresses, couldn't wait to get into that pool and be fully immersed in God's love and mercy and joy.
What memory of Holy Week or Easter holds a special meaning for you? Well, I think we can all agree that Easter 2020 is a strange one, but my fond memory goes back to Easter of 2018. My wife Edwina and I had just relocated the previous September, so when Easter 2018 rolled around, it was the first chance we had to celebrate that wonderful season at St. Tom's. We were joined by our 2 kids who came down to visit from Indiana, so all 4 of us got to spend the entire Easter weekend together. And because of the overflow situation at St. Tom's, we celebrated Easter Mass in the Parish Hall, and it was celebrated by Father Roy Lee, and you know how special that can be. It's just such a fond memory I'm sure I'll never forget. I'm just hunkered down here in my Easter garb, having an Easter fire on Holy Week. And I know many of you are wondering, do I have matching pants for this jacket? The answer is no. I hope to see you all very soon and have a blessed Easter holiday.
Hi everybody, it's Cindy, Youth Minister here. I'm here to share a little bit about Easter memories with you. Easter happens to be my favorite holiday. Not only is it when Jesus rises, but it's also time of new life. I love to work in my yard, and as you can see, my flowers are all in bloom right now. I love this time of the year where everything just comes alive, and that includes Jesus rising on Easter morning. Another thing that's kind of a tradition is years ago when my 2 little girls, who are now in college now, were little, I made this platter, and over the years it serves as different things. It's held eggs, it's held candies, it's held cookies, but every year it comes out and it reminds me of when my kids were little, and it's just one of our Easter memories that we try to keep alive here in the Kaufman house. Happy Easter, everybody. I'm looking forward to when we can all celebrate Mass together again. Bye.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Nancy Murphy. I'm a pastoral council member at St. Thomas Aquinas.
And I'm Jack Murphy, and I'm a volunteer with the Society of St. Vincent de Paul at St. Thomas Aquinas.
And what I love about Easter time at our church is the joyfulness that everybody comes together with. It's such a warm and friendly church, so welcoming, and we appreciate that. We've always loved that about our church. Everybody's dressed up at Easter time. The place looks beautiful. The music is amazing, and we are so very connected. And one of the things I've always loved about our church is that we cross the aisle to hold hands. We join hands together across the aisle. And I look forward to that time again very soon.
For me, I had a fond memory last year of the St. Vincent de Paul volunteers. We have about 50 of them at St. Thomas Aquinas. And we got together last year to do a special Stations of the Cross that's been written just for members of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul. And it compares Christ's passion and his suffering along the crucifixion, his way to be crucified, with the plight of the poor in our community. It was a great event for us last year, and it was very rewarding for me personally. This year, because we couldn't do it in person, we decided to do it by video conference. And so we showed the slides and we all got to participate. And it was a great event, and one that I will remember for quite some time. And it was because of the friendliness and the passion that people have at St. Thomas Aquinas Church.
So happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter.
My name is Mimi Madrid, and our family's favorite Easter or Holy Week memory, attending the live Stations of the Cross. It's so beautifully done at St. Thomas Aquinas Church, and it's something that we look forward to every year. Happy Easter.